I hear this from like a lot of people and stuff like that. Like, you know, it's all about like getting like the, you know, like the footage or like, you know, getting the content and stuff like that, right? However, it's like there's always like a very like common thing where like people just don't like the editing, right? It's like you have to like editing. Like you have to love editing just as you do like you know, taking the footage out there.
Or maybe even more.
That's all it is. Like the editing should be like number one. Like I'm sorry, but like that's just the way it is.
That's for videography.
Yeah, that's what videography is. So it's like once you like enjoy like editing, I know like how like dreading it can be because like there's so many different elements and things don't work out and everything. But if you don't have like the love for
passion,
editing,
yeah.
as much as like, you know, it sounds kind of weird to like maybe most people because, you know, it's kind of funny. Like a lot of people say like, it's like, oh my God, I hate editing and all this. But to tell you the truth, it's like, you know, like that's the number one thing that's like going to make you so much more efficient, like in everything, like in all the works, whether if it's like, you know, like whatever crap footage or whatever, like if you're able to find, you know, the means of being clever with your edits or like editing, then like you can make, you know, just that little clip work, you know, just enough so that like you can actually, you know.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes it almost feels like it comes out of nowhere that a scene
right,
just works
right.
because you edit it properly.
Right. So it's like it's really all about that process of like knowing like, let's say like your software, knowing like the kind of looks. So it's almost like, you know, like how I mentioned before, it's like, you know, you already have sort of like this video played out already in, like in your head, and like how it's going to be edited, how it's going to be sort of like filmed and like, you know, put together. And once you do that, then all you got to do is just get all of that stuff that's mentally, you know, there, all those mental visuals, and then just kind of, you know, physically putting it onto the computer, and then after it's like, you know, just creating. So it's just kind of neat, you know, in a lot of ways. It's like your thoughts, and then after it's like your video, the video gear and everything like that is like basically like, you know, filming everything, like your complete visions of like, you know, what's in your head.
Yeah.
And then the computer is there to just kind of piece all that together, and then after it's like, boom, you have like a physical, you know, like,
representation.
right, of like your thoughts kind of thing. So
exactly.
Like,
yeah.
So that's, to me, like the number one thing is the editing.
So I would absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And one of the interesting parts of that is also having the outline, which is in collaboration with the person you're creating it for.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that means that you have to actually have the vision of that person so fluid inside of your mind, or so just you just know acute. It's very acute. You know exactly what they want, to the degree that you will be able to then put that outline into a practical sense where they're going to say, that's what I was looking for.
Right. Yeah. And so that also comes with a lot of like, you know, communicating is like with your, you know, like with the person that you're doing the project with, right? So whether if it's like with like Andrea or Luke or something, like, you know, it's really, you know, you guys put everything on the table. Everything on the table, all the thoughts, and even on my end too, because like, you know, we both really want to try to like respect each other's, you know, like artistic values, right? So you got like, you know, the music,
right?
And then after it's like, you know, my artistic values of like putting together like, you know, the video, because like it's totally different. People think like on average, right? Like, you know, a videographer has like the keys to everything, right? Like how to make it look super cool or super dope or whatever it is, right? But no, that's not actually the case, right? It's almost like it's whoever you're working with has to meet you halfway in order for you to achieve that, you know, what do you call it? Like that footage.
Yeah.
So it's like if they're not meeting you halfway,
freedom.
If they're not meeting you halfway, or like if they're not providing you with like the content that you want to try to like, you know, like get, then the whole project is kind of like iffy, like on both parts, right? So it's like on them and even on my part, it's like, you know, we should have shot it like this, or like, you know, maybe we could have added more energy of this. So we wanted to make sure that like, you know, that both of our creative, you know, like visuals and stuff like that are respected, and after it's like make note that like, you know, on the videography side, it's like this is what it takes to get that scene kind of thing, right? So in a lot of ways, it's like, you know, it can be organic, but then like it, like most of the time, like it needs to be kind of like staged, right? Staged in like certain like feels, certain angles, of course. And
right.
Like and then, you know, like even like the
lighting,
the expression, lighting too, and also like the expressions that you want to try to, you know, like portray in video and stuff like that. You kind of have to like act a little, right? As much as like we want to try to get like the, you know, the super raw, you know, like what is it called? Like, you know, the real feel.
Yeah, exactly.
We kind of have to stage a little bit, right?
You want some just kind of cavalier, casual moments.
But then that's kind of like our, you know, like responsibility, right? As like videographers, is to capture the moment, capture it, like with the right intentions and the right emotions and everything. And then afterwards, like finding, you know, clever ways of like, you know, editing it so that like you really bring out the story, you know, how it should be told, or how, you know, and in a lot of ways, like, you know, like people can interpret it in different ways, but then like, you know, it's really all about like, you know, building that story, the intentions within.